This is Nutanix in Real Time, the video series where we give you a flavor for what it's going to be like to perform various operations on the Nutanix platform. And we do so in such a way that doesn't cut out the video to compensate for long-running processes. We do that so, again, you have a feel for what it's going to be like using the platform. Now, we do provide chapter markers in the video, so you can hover just above the time indicator below where I'm speaking, and you'll see little pop-ups letting you know what chapters apply to what operations. Feel free to click on those chapters to move forward or backward in the video as your needs require. Thanks for tuning into the content. We hope you enjoy it, and we look forward to bringing you more in the very near future. Enjoy. Moving on from the dashboard, what I'd like to do now is to move down to the section called File Server and talk a bit about Nutanix Files. You can see here in the list I do have an existing file server, but what I'd like to do is take you through the process for creating a new instance of a Nutanix Files file server. Clicking plus file server will bring me to the create file server dialog. In this case, I'm going to call it server 2-z1. We're going to place this in the test.tld domain. I'm going to specify that this server will be responsible for a terabyte of storage, and here we configure the capacity for this particular scale-out file server. We'll have 3 virtual machines with this configuration for each of those instances. We'll go next. Here we will specify how clients will communicate with our scale-out file server. So we'll go ahead and give it its subnet config, its gateway, and we will specify 3 IP addresses that this file server will use to receive client communications. I'm also going to specify the DNS servers that this file server will use. And here I'm going to specify the networking characteristics that will be used by the file server to communicate with the Nutanix controller VM. For communications with that controller VM, we need to specify 4 IP addresses in this case. All right, and for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to simply use the SMB protocol. And here we will specify credentials that the configuration routine will utilize to authenticate to our domain controller and create the necessary records in DNS. Let me type that again just to be sure. All right, and we'll go ahead and click Create. All right, and that process is now underway. as indicated by the little green banner here. You can also see that we've got a task in process here in the task list. We can click on that to get a near real-time understanding of how that process is going. And so we'll go ahead and wait this out and let it complete. It shouldn't take too terribly long. You get a very descriptive indication of what the tasks are doing. So in this case, we're transferring the binary necessary to bring up an instance of the file server. We're now initializing the cluster creation for the new file server, about 50% of the way through the process. All right, and now our new scale out file server is complete. You can see all tasks completed successfully, and we see it show up in the list here. Now let's go ahead and create a share on this new scale out file server. So we'll click on it in the list here. Go ahead and click the plus share export link. We're going to call this share data. It's going to serve SMB, and we will limit it to, let's say, 5 gig. Go ahead and click next. We're going to enable self-service restore as well as access-based enumeration. We'll click next again. Our summary looks great. We'll go ahead and create the share. And after just a few moments, we should notice that our new share is created successfully. 10% complete now. And we're done. To put that to the test on server 2, I'm going to go over to our domain controller and we'll clear the screen. I'm going to go ahead and connect a drive to server 2. Alright, and drive Z is now connected to server 2, and from here all of the standard Windows Server tools are available to you to configure this share. So for example, you might want to take a look at current permissions. Maybe we don't want users to have access to the root of this particular share, so we might edit that and remove users. After doing so, maybe we create the beginnings of our directory hierarchy. All right, and then begin to create a more granular set of ACLs within the directories themselves. Like so, right? So cool. In this video, we've created a new scale-out file server, as well as taking advantage of some of the standard Windows tools to set up ACLs on the shares served by that new scale-out file server.